Hello friends and welcome to DigiMento. Today we will be discussing policies, governance and administration. So if everything is okay at your end, if I'm audible to you and if everything is going well at your end, please let me know so that we will be able to begin the classes soon. And if you are attending the classes, do let me know. Please send me a hi, hello, so that I'll know that you are attending the classes. So let's quickly start. So please let me know if you are online, if you are attending the session. Okay, so this is the last module of this particular unit. So we were discussing the unit 10. So we are discussing now unit 10, and unit 10 is about the higher education system in India. Higher education system in India. So this is basically about higher education system, and we have already discussed about many things. So we have completed modules 1 to 5, and this is going to be the last module. After this, we will take up the previous year questions of this module. We will also have 2 mock tests from this module. Okay. Then we will move to unit 2 research methodology. Okay. So let's quickly begin. But before that, this is our channel, and if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe. So this is our channel, and if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe, and do not also forget to press the bell icon for receiving more notifications from us. Whenever we upload a video, you will get the notification if you press the bell icon. And if you are preparing for GATE, NTA, UGC NET or PGT Computer Science, you can avail our online courses. They are available, and the details of the online courses are available on our website. So you can visit our website www.digimento.com, or you can call to this number for getting more details about the courses that we provide. So this is about our online courses. So this is for paper 2 actually. So these online courses are for paper 2. And in paper 2, we are providing computer science and electronic science. So these are the 2 subjects that we are providing the online courses. And for NTA NET, I am talking about NTA NET. Apart from that, PGT computer science also. And so I'll just check the... Okay, so I hope it's okay now. So is that okay now? Is everything okay now? I hope so. I hope it's okay now. Okay. So yeah, let's begin. I'm sorry for the error. So hi Rani, hi Shilna, hi Gajalakshmi, hello Debsmita, hi Josephine. So yeah, I think it's okay now. There was a network issue. So now, so as we said, today we will be discussing about the policies, governance and administration regarding the higher education system in India. So this is a little lengthy module, not very lengthy actually. But still, as compared to the previous modules, it's a bit lengthier. Now, before we understand about the governance, administration and the policies, we need to understand something about the constitution. Why? Because the constitution provides many provisions for education. So, because there are many provisions mentioned in the constitution with regard to education, we need to understand it. Okay. Now, let's come to the Constitution of India. The Constitution of India is the supreme law in India. This is the highest law or the supreme law in the country. So the Constitution is a supreme law. Devsmita, now okay, thank you. Alagammai, hi. Puviri, hi, hello, good evening, welcome. So let's see. We just started the class. Okay, we are talking about the Constitution. I'm giving you a brief introduction about the Constitution, and because only you know some basics about the Constitution, then the policies, the governance, and the administration will be more clear for you. The constitutional provisions regarding education, all these will be clear for you. Now, the Constitution lays down the framework defining the fundamental political principles. So, it lays down the framework which defines the fundamental political principles. It establishes the structure, procedures, the powers, and the duties of the government institutions. So, what does the Constitution do? It lays down framework defining the fundamental political principles which are called the principles of the Constitution. So there are various principles that the Constitution follows. So principles of the Constitution. Then it establishes the structure, the procedures, the powers, and the duties of the government institutions. So it gives us an idea about how the government institutions should function. One more thing I want to tell you. In my phone, I'm checking the live chat in my phone. So in my phone, sometimes there is some network issue. So if you are also facing the same network issue, please let me know, so that I'll be able to recheck my internet connection. So whenever you feel that there is a buffering issue, or whenever you think that there is some network issue, then please let me know in the comment section then and there itself, because I'll be able to check the internet connection. Otherwise it becomes very difficult. Otherwise the session may automatically get logged out also. So please let me know in the comment section if you are facing any issues, any buffering issues. Let me know at that time itself. Okay, don't wait, let me know. Okay, thank you. So yeah, we'll come back to the topic. Now it also lays down the basic framework on how the government should function and how it should deliver certain responsibilities or deliver certain services to its people. And we also have the longest written constitution. So India's constitution is the longest written constitution, and the chief architect of India's constitution is considered to be Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So all these are very, very important points for your examination regarding your constitution. Sometimes you may get questions from constitution also. So that's why I have included all these. Now, basic understanding of the constitution. So one important feature of Indian constitution, I'll just write it with a different color so that you can, identify. So first one, it is the longest written constitution in the world. So it's a written constitution. We have a written document, constitution. Longest written constitution in the world is for us. And second one, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So very, very prominent figure. So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the chief architect of the Indian constitution. That is also very, very important. Okay. Rani has commented, now it's clear. Thank you, Rani. But if at all there is some issue, let me know, because otherwise the session itself will get logged out. So if you tell me the moment itself, I'll be able to rectify that. I have some network issue here because of the climate and all. So because of heavy rains and all, I have this network issue. That's why. Okay. Now, at the time of the commencement of the constitution had 395 articles in 22 parts and 8 schedules. So, I'll come to it. Now, at the time of the commencement of the constitution. So, at the time of commencement of our constitution, we had 395 articles split in 22 parts and 8 schedules. Now we have, I'll come to it. Okay, now it consists of almost 80,000 words. Now currently the Constitution of India has 448 articles in 25 parts and 12 schedules. So from 8 schedules it has become 12 schedules. Then from 22 parts it has become 25 parts, and then from 395 to 448 articles in the constitution, and 104 amendments have been made in the Indian constitution. So 104 amendments were made to the constitution of India. Okay. Now regarding the drafting of the constitution, so the constitution was drafted by the Constituent Assembly. So Constituent Assembly drafted the constitution, and the Constituent Assembly took almost 2 years and 11 months, that is almost 3 years. So 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to frame the constitution of our country. Now the constitution was enacted by the Constituent Assembly on 26th of November 1949. Enacted. So it was of November 1949, and the constitution came into effect on 26th of January 1950. Celebrate our Republic Day. Okay, the constitution came into effect on 26th of January. Hello friends and welcome to DigiMento. So let's begin today's discussion. Yesterday we just began with this module, but there was some technical issues. But what I have done is I have pre-recorded the classes and we have uploaded it on YouTube. So that class is available on YouTube in pre-recorded form. So still we will have a revision of what we learned yesterday in the pre-recorded class. And don't worry about that. Those who have missed the classes, today we will have a revision on that. So this is a very important module from your examination perspective, and most of the questions come from this module, policies, governance and administration. And yesterday, as I told you, this is a little more bigger chapter or bigger module as compared to the previous modules from this unit 9. So we were, unit 10. So this is unit 10 which we are discussing now, and from unit 10, this is one of the biggest modules, or like this is the biggest one, because all other modules were very small. So this is a little lengthy. So please do bear with me, but it's very interesting. I promise you it's very interesting. So let's discuss this in detail. निशा इज आस्किंग मी, मैम क्या दिसंबर एग्जाम कैंसिल हो गया, इस साल के ही एग्जाम है क्या? नॉट श्योर निशा, वी कैन नॉट प्रेडिक्ट एनीथिंग नाउ हॉल टिकट्स आर, admit cards are also available. So I don't know, not sure. It's unpredictable because of the present situation. Okay, so those who are watching the live with me now, please do let me know in the comment section. Send me a hi, hello, so that I'll know that you are watching the classes, so that we will be quickly starting the session. It's a very important one, and if you miss the classes, it will be little difficult to catch, because it's mainly concerned with polity and all, polity, governance and all. So try to attend the classes on time itself, join the classes on time itself. So let's begin. Okay, but let me know if you are attending the classes. Hi Deepika, anybody else watching the classes, let me know. So we will quickly start, but before that, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe. This is our channel DigiMento, so please do subscribe, and also please press the bell icon for receiving the notifications. And if you are preparing for GATE, NTA, UGC NET or PGT Computer Science, we are providing you online classes. So this is for paper 2, okay, regarding NET paper 2, NET examination for paper 2 for electronic science and computer science. We are providing online classes. So for more details, you can visit our website. This is our website, www.digimento.com, or you can call to this number. So this is our contact number and this is our website, from where you will get all the details of the classes that we provide, online classes. So hello Gajalakshmi, hi Rani, good evening everyone. Hi Lipika, good evening. Sandeep is asking me, can we save it and also watch later? Yes, that option is also available, Sandeep, and this video will be available on YouTube, so you can watch it later also. Okay, so let's begin. But before that, a big sorry from our side, because yesterday there was some technical issues. It was not our mistake, some YouTube related issues were there. then and there itself I tried to start again the streaming again, but there was some issues with YouTube, so we were not able to start the classes yesterday. So so as I said, I have taken a pre-recorded session for the same, some 35-40 minute session, but still today we will be revising whatever I have taken in the pre-recorded session, assuming that you have not watched it, or at least you have gone through it but not clear. So we will go through it once again. Okay. Hi Kajal, good evening Kajal. So shall we begin? Yeah, so let's begin. So first we will have some basic idea about the constitution. So our constitution, so understanding basic things about the constitution is very important for understanding the policies, etc. So let's understand some basics of the constitution, and I'm sure most of you are from not from social science background, so I'm sure that you must be feeling bored in the class. So I'll try to make it interesting as much as possible, but in case if you need a break for 2 minutes or something, you can let me know in the comment section. Okay, so we will take a break for 2 minutes or something, that's also fine. So let me know anything, any inconvenience that you face, you let me know, we will do accordingly. Hi Josephine, good evening. Hi. I have a throat pain today. I hope I'm audible because I'm talking a little, slower. Ma'am, please clear me one point. What is the criteria for cracking the NET exam? Is it 40% in both paper 1 or paper 2? I think it's combined. I'll have to check it. I'll check it and let you know, Lipika. Okay. So let's begin. But as I told you, if you feel any difficulty, let me know. Do not hesitate to tell me. I hope I'm audible. Vikrant, yesterday's class I was absent. Vikrant, even we did not had a class yesterday. After 10-15 minutes, there was some technical issues and we had to cancel the class yesterday. So don't worry. Okay, let's start. So we will begin from very beginning onwards. I know yesterday we discussed some points, but then we will start from the beginning. Okay. Now, first point. The Constitution of India, it is a supreme law of the country. So supreme law, this is the most important point. So there is nothing above the Constitution. This is the concept. Supremacy of Constitution means that there is nothing above the Constitution. So there is nothing above the Constitution. So this is what is meant by supremacy of the Constitution. The supreme law of the land. So the law in our country is the Constitution itself. So Constitution itself, it's a written document. Now let's see, we will see the details. Okay. It lays down the framework defining fundamental political principles. It establishes the structure, procedures and duties of the government institutions. So by this, two things are implied. First one, it lays down the fundamental principles. So fundamental principles of the Constitution. Now, fundamental principles means the principles that the Constitution adhere to. Constitutional principles. So this is called constitutional principles. And any policy made by the government. So any policy or any particular decision taken by the government, any law or legal affairs that the government deals with, it should be binding on the constitutional principles, or it should follow the constitutional principles. The government cannot do away with the basic principles that the Constitution upholds. Then second point is that this is the first point regarding the Constitution, importance of the Constitution. So it lays down certain fundamental principles which are called the constitutional principles. So any law made in the country or any policy made in the country should be in line with the constitutional principles. Second point is that it also defines how a government should function. So this is about how a government should function. Okay. Now, the third point here is that we have the longest written constitution in the world. So, Indian constitution is the longest written constitution in the world itself. Okay. So we have the longest written constitution. Next point is that the chief architect of the Indian constitution. This point is important. The longest written constitution. Okay. So India has the longest written constitution. Our constitution is a written document and it is the longest one in the world. Now, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the chief architect of Indian constitution. This is because Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the chairman of the, or was the chairman of the drafting committee of our constitution. So, chairman of drafting committee. So, chairman of the drafting committee of the constitution. Now, let's come to the details of the constitution, about the content of the constitution. So, content. Now, at the time of commencement, that is when the constitution was adopted, the constitution initially had 395 articles which were split in 22 parts in 8 schedules. So, there were a total of 8 schedules, 22 parts and 395 articles at the time of commencement of the constitution. That is when we adopted the constitution. We adopted the constitution in 1950. So when we adopted the constitution, we had 8 schedules and then 8 schedules, then 22 parts and 395 articles. Now it consists of almost 80,000 words and it makes the Constitution of India the longest written constitution in the world. Longest written constitution of the world. Okay. Now, this is the current status of our constitution. So, through amendments, that is constitutional amendments, we will see later what are amendments. So, through constitutional amendments, many new articles were added to the constitution since its commencement. It was commenced in 1950 and now it is 2020. So, almost 70 years. So, for this 70 years, many articles were added to the constitution. So, currently, the present status of our constitution is that there are 448 articles. So, 448 articles which is split in 25 parts and 12 schedules. Okay. Now, we know that at the commencement time, there was only 395 articles and there were only 22 parts and there were 8 schedules. Now, with time, many new articles were added to the constitution, making it even more lengthier. Next point is about the amendments made to the constitution. So, thus far, 104 amendments have been made to the Indian constitution. So, 104 amendments. What does it mean? It means that 104 times the constitution was amended. Now, amendment means making any changes to the constitution. So, making any changes to the constitution is called amendment, or making any changes to the provisions of the constitution is called the amendment. So, 104 times our constitution was amended. Now, let's discuss something about amendment. I'll just clear the space, the writing, so that I'll get space to write. Okay. Now, let's see what is this amendment in some detail. Now, amendment means making any changes to the constitution or to the constitutional provisions. So, this is basically changes. So, changes to constitution or constitutional provisions. Now, how this amendment can be made? The amendments to the constitution can be made only by the parliament. So, it can be made only by the parliament. And how? The parliament has to the parliament has to introduce a constitutional amendment bill in either house of the parliament. So, there are 2 houses in the parliament. One is Lok Sabha and the another one is Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is also called the Council of States and Lok Sabha is the lower house. So, Lok Sabha is the lower house of the parliament and Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the parliament. So, an amendment bill has to be presented in any of the house and it has to be passed. That means the members of the parliament will have to vote for it by a special majority of 3/4 of the members. So 3 by 4 members of the Parliament of both the houses has to individually pass the bill, and finally the president has to give the assent. Then it becomes a Constitutional Amendment Act. So amendment to the constitution means making changes to the constitution or to the constitutional provisions, and this can be done only by parliament. No state legislatures can make any changes to the constitution. This is important. So only parliament can make the changes, and both the houses of the parliament has to pass the bill by a special majority, that is 3 by 4th of the membership of the house has to support the bill. This is how changes to the constitution is made. And likewise, in India, 104 amendments have been made. So we adopted the constitution in 1950, and till this time, till 2020, 104 amendments, that is 104 times there were changes made to the constitution. We will see some of them later when we further discuss. These are all very basic things. If you have any doubt, don't forget or do not hesitate to put it in the comment section, so that we will discuss that in detail. Okay, I'll just take up the questions. If you have any comments, please do let me know, because I know this is an entirely different subject from what you are studying. So anything you can let me know. Okay. Vikrant, when will you finish higher education? Higher education, I think I need 3-4 classes more to finish this. Devsmita, good evening. Sorry for joining late. That's okay, Devsmita. Rani, ma'am, this is already explained in another video till others. Yes, but there are so many people who did not watch the video. That's why I thought I'll quickly revise, Rani. Okay, so I'll just quickly revise it. Okay. Yeah. Next, this is regarding how the constitution was framed. So this is about the framing of the constitution. Okay. Framing of the constitution. So Constituent Assembly took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to frame the constitution. So almost 3 years were taken to frame the constitution, and that is also another reason why our constitution is very long. So the time taken to frame the constitution is 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. Now the constitution was enacted by the Constituent Assembly. Now what is the Constituent Assembly? Constituent Assembly consists of those members who drafted or we can say who were responsible for drafting of constitution under various committees. There were many committees. So Constituent Assembly, so the committee or the assembly which was elected for the purpose of drafting the constitution or making the constitution. So the constitution was enacted by the Constituent Assembly on 26th of November 1949, and the constitution came into effect on 26th of January 1950. So that is how we celebrate our Republic Day on January 26th every year. And the date why January 26 was chosen to make the constitution come into effect, the reason being that this was chosen to commemorate the Purna Swaraj Declaration of Independence of 1930. So I'll just explain what is this Purna Swaraj Declaration. We know that pre-independence India. So in the pre-independence India, before we got the independence, there were many political parties. Example, there was the INC, Indian National Congress, CPM was there. Then many parties were there, but the most important one was the INC, Indian National Congress. Now the INC used to hold annual meetings every year. Now in 1930, the Congress committee decided that Purna Swaraj will be the motto. So we need Purna Swaraj or complete independence. So Purna Swaraj means complete independence. So this date of January 26th was chosen to commemorate the Purna Swaraj Declaration of Independence in 1930. So in 1930, Purna Swaraj Declaration was already made. So to commemorate that, on the remembrance of that, this date was adopted for making the constitution come into effect. Now the Constituent Assembly. So this is about the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly, which was responsible for the making of the constitution. So responsible for making of the Constitution. So, Constituent Assembly responsible for making of the Constitution had 284 members, and out of which 15 were women. So, there were 284 members, and out of which 15 were women. Now, the original copies of the Indian Constitution. So, it is handwritten. So, original Constitution, it is handwritten, and it was written in both Hindi and English. So, original copies are available in Hindi and English, and it was handwritten by Prem Bihari Narayan Raisda. So, not very important to remember the names. Now, the decorations were made by artists from Shanti Niketan, including Biohar Manohar Sinha and Nandalal Bose. So, they decorated the constitution, okay, the written constitution, the first one. Now, let's discuss about the sources of our constitution. So, I have already discussed the sources of the constitution in the video, but now in this live session I am going into the details. Why? Because in video I was not able to explain the details because you were not given a chance to ask me doubts. So here I will look into each and every feature which has been borrowed from somewhere else. Okay, we will discuss each one in detail. So those who have already watched the video also can watch it, because here I am going for the details of everything. Okay, every single point we will take up and discuss the details. I'll make sure that you don't get bored. Okay. So till now, if you have any doubts, let me know. We will clarify that and then move ahead. So let me know if you have any doubts, so that after clearing the doubts, we will move ahead. So from here, we are moving into a very, very important part of the lecture. So here I'll explain everything. Rani was asking me that I have already taken this part. So now I'll explain each and everything. Okay. I hope no doubts. Nobody is commenting. So if no doubts, also let me know. Okay. Shall I continue? Okay, let's continue. So, the first one is Government of India Act of 1935. So, the Government of India Act of 1935 was, I have doubt. Okay, ask me. Okay, you can keep it posted. We will discuss that later. Okay. Now, so, Government of India Act of 1935. So, this was passed by the British. So, the British government in India passed the Government of India Act of 1935, and this is a very important legislation from where we have borrowed many provisions into our constitution. So, from the Government of India Act, we have borrowed many provisions to our constitution. Okay. Now, first one is federal scheme. Okay, federal scheme. So, what is meant by federal scheme? So, federal scheme means that we have a union government. So, union government, and below that we have the state government. Okay, state government. Okay, so this is called a federal scheme. So, federal scheme necessarily means that there are two tiers, at least two tiers of government. So, we have a union government and the state government, and the union government is called the federal government, and the state government is called the state government. So, this is what we have. And after the 73rd and the 74th Amendment Act to the Constitution, we have adopted the third tier to our Constitution, which is the Panchayati Raj institutions and the municipalities. So, the municipalities and panchayats were added as the third tier of the government through the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. We will come to that. Okay, so first thing, federal scheme. So, I hope federal scheme is clear for you. So, federal scheme means that we have a union government and below that we have the state government. So, this is called a federal scheme. So, I hope this is clear for you. Okay, so this provision we adopted from Government of India Act of 1935. Now, I'll erase it to write the next one. Next one is the office of governor. So second one, office of governor. This provision also we have adopted from our Government of India Act of 1935. So basically, what is this office of governor for? So the constitution mandates that there shall be a governor for every state. So for every state there shall be a governor, but sometimes one governor itself will take up the responsibility of more than one state. So for every state there shall be a governor. Now, what is the purpose of the governor? So governor is a representative of the central government. As we said, in a federal structure there is the union government, and below that there is the state government. Now, union government and the state government has to work in cooperation and coordination with each other. So governor is the person who will link the union government with the state government. Now there is governor in every state. So the seat of the governor is in the state. Now purpose of governor is to create a link between the central government and the state government, and therefore the governor is called the agent of the center. So agent of the central government, and it is the central government who appoints the governor in states. So it's not the states, but the central government will appoint the governor in every state. Okay, so it is the agent of the center who will act as a link between the central government and the state government. So who will act as a link between center and state. Okay, I hope this is clear for you. Now, next one is judiciary. So, judicial provisions also we adopted from Government of India Act of 1935. Now, regarding the Indian judiciary. So, what kind of judiciary we have in India? Now, we can simply say that the judiciary in India is integrated and independent. Okay, we have an integrated and an independent judiciary. So, what is meant by these two words? Integrated, second one independent. Now, integrated judiciary means that we have a chain of judicial system starting from the sessions court or the district courts, we can say. So, district courts, we have district courts or the sessions courts at the lower level. Then we have the high courts. Then we have the Supreme Court. So this is a chain. This is a hierarchy. So from the lower level to the upper level, or the most important one is the Supreme Court, the highest judicial organization or the institution of a country. So it is an integrated chain of judicial system starting from the lower courts to the Supreme Court. There is an integrated chain of judiciary. Now what is meant by independent judiciary? Now independent judiciary means, I'll write here. So, independent judiciary means there are three organs of the government. So, one is the legislature, second one is the executive, and third one is the judiciary. So, this is some basic polity. I am sure you must have learned about it in your basic classes in your 8th, 9th and all. So, legislature. The legislature means it is the body of representatives. So, body of representatives means the MPs. With regard to parliament, the MPs, members of the parliament of both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, constitute the legislature. Then executive we have, which is the Council of Ministers. So Council of Ministers is the executive, and judiciary. Judiciary is the High Court and the Supreme Court. High Courts and the Supreme Court. So independence of judiciary means that the judiciary is independent from that of the executive and the legislature, which means the judiciary need not act on the advice of legislature or the executive, or judiciary should not or does not necessarily need to not necessarily judiciary can act independently. They are not dependent upon legislative or executive, or they do not have to follow what the legislature or the executive says. This is meant by integrated and independent judiciary. This is the judicial system that we follow in India. So this also has been borrowed from the Government of India Act of 1935. So judiciary in India is basically integrated and independent. Integrated means that we have an integrated chain of judiciary starting from the lower courts, then the High Court, and on the apex level we have the Supreme Court. Then independence of judiciary means judiciary is independent from the other two organs of the government, which is the legislature and the executive. Okay. Now Arjun has asked me, family court will belong to this. Yes, family courts also belongs to this, because you know the issue of marriages or divorce, all those things can be even taken to the Supreme Court. Okay. In the Shabano case, this was taken to the Supreme Court. Then again the triple talaq case. So even these things can be taken to the Supreme Court. So we can say that family courts are also a part of this integral system. Okay. Next provision is the Public Service Commission. So Public Service Commission is also a constitutional body, which means it has a mention in the Constitution of India. So Public Service Commission, what is the purpose of the Public Service Commission? First, we need to understand how is the Public Service Commission. Public Service Commission. Now, we have the UPSC or the Union Public Service Commission at the union level, and there are state PSCs at the state level. Now, the purpose of the Public Service Commission is to make recommendations regarding appointments to some important post. So, Public Service Commissions will hold certain examinations. For example, the UPSC holds the most important examination, which is the Civil Services examination. It also holds various other examinations to recruit eligible candidates to some post. Then we have state PSCs, which conduct n number of examinations to recruit talents or people to various posts. So purpose of Public Service Commission is to establish a constitutional machinery wherein which these machinery will be helping the government to make recruitments to the most important and coveted post of the government of India as well as the state governments. So some important points to be remembered about the Public Service Commission. One, it is a constitutional body, which means it is established according to the provisions of the Constitution. Second one, the purpose is to make recruitments or recommendations regarding the important post, or not just important post of the government. Third thing is that the UPSC is also known as the watchdog of the merit system of our country. So the merit system, okay, based on the merit, recruitment has to be made. Okay. So this is regarding the Public Service Commission. I have not explained in this detail in the video, which is a pre-recorded one. So I think this will be helpful for you. And I did not explain it in the video because I was sure that you people will be having a lot of doubts when we discuss all these. So live session will be more effective. So that was the reason. Okay. Next is emergency provisions. So emergency provisions, we have 3 articles in our constitution: article 352, 356 and article 360. So these are the 3 emergencies mentioned. Article 352 mentions about the national emergency, or okay, national emergency. 356 the state emergency, and 360 financial emergency. So these are the 3 emergencies that we have. Now, emergency provisions are also taken from the 1935 Government of India Act. Then the administrative details regarding the administration, how administration has to be carried out. Okay, so how administration has to be carried out. Now, let's see what are the provisions that we have adopted from the British Constitution. So this is regarding British Constitution, the Britain's Constitution. First one is parliamentary system. So parliamentary system. Now what is meant by parliamentary system? So there are 2 forms of government, 2 broader forms of government. One is parliamentary system. Second one is presidential system. Example of parliamentary system is India, UK, etc. Very good example of presidential system is the US. So in US, president is the most powerful, whereas in India, the sovereignty lies with the parliament. So sovereignty is with the parliament. Okay, now Lipika has asked me UPSC known as, repeat, I'll just write it down, Lipika. Watchdog of the merit system. UPSC is known as the watchdog of the merit system of our country. Okay, so Coming back to parliamentary system, parliament is the sovereign authority, whereas presidential system, president is the most powerful. So in US we have the presidential system, in India we have the parliamentary system. So British constitution has adopted a parliamentary system which we have replicated in India as well. Second one is the rule of law. So law. Rule of law is the second provision that we have adopted from British constitution. So rule of law means law, equality before law, or law is above everything. So that is rule of law. Now Tanmay, because whenever I try, it says either wrong credentials or admit card not available. Admit cards are available. I think there is some technical issue. If somebody can help Tanmay, please do help. Okay. Okay. Abhi Kumar. Good evening, ma'am. From each topic you are discussing, you should tell whether questions have come in UGC NET and in which year. Abhi, I told you, yes, questions have come. We will discuss all the previous year questions towards the end. And one thing, Abhi, make sure this point that, see, it is not necessary that they will only ask you the questions from where they have asked in the previous years. So questions will come from the syllabus, anywhere in the syllabus. So first task for me is to complete the syllabus first. So without completing syllabus, I don't think there is a point to discuss the previous year questions. And second thing is that after every topic of discussion, it's very difficult, Abhi, to get the previous year questions and then discuss it. So what I'll do, I'll first complete the syllabus, then I will discuss the previous year questions for sure. So year and all, yes. Because segregating the questions topic wise, it's very difficult, because paper 1 it is just a 50 questions, and then again not just that 50 questions, but again another problem is that there are many units in paper 1. So unit 10 is just one unit. So taking the questions, segregating according to topics will be very difficult task. I'll try to do it, but even when you asked me last day, I tried that, but it's very difficult. That's why I said towards the end, I'll discuss all the previous year questions from this unit itself. So first I'll try to finish the syllabus. Okay. Yeah, I understand, Abhi, not to just discuss, but just inform the question has come. So that's what I said. Segregating is a little difficult task. I will try to do that. Okay. So topic wise segregation is little difficult, because the topic itself is very small. There will be very less number of questions asked. So, okay, that's the reason. I'll just try again. Okay. Now let's continue. So next point is legislative procedure. So there is a small spelling error. It's LE. Okay. Legislative procedure. So legislative procedure means the law making procedure. So this has also been adopted from the British constitution. Now, what is meant by this law making procedure in India? So law making procedure. So law making procedure means how a law is made, how legislation is done. So at the union level, the parliament is responsible for legislating. And at the state level, the state legislature is responsible for making legislations. And for that matter, there is a 7th schedule of the constitution which talks about 3 lists. Okay, there are 3 lists mentioned in the 7th schedule. So first one is the union list, second one is the state list, and the third one is the concurrent list. Now, union list has certain items, for example, defense, railways, etc. So here those items mentioned in the union list, only the central government can make legislation. Okay, only the central government or the parliament can make the laws for that. Now regarding state list, with regard to state list, what is the provision? only the state government can make legislation. Then there is a concurrent list for which both the union government and the state government can make the legislation. Okay, I hope you got the point. Next is single citizenship. So single citizenship means, okay, I'll explain that. There are 2 points in that. First thing is that we have a union government, that is union, we have a union, that is India. So at the federal level we have India, and we also have states. So you must be belonging to different states. Okay, some may be from Kerala, some may be from Karnataka, Maharashtra, UP, Bengal, Bihar, anywhere. So there is one state to which you belong to, whereas in general we are all Indians. So single citizenship means that there is only one citizenship, that is Indian citizenship. If you are from Karnataka, you don't have a Karnataka citizenship. You just have one citizenship, that is the Indian citizenship. This is the first point. Second point means that if you voluntarily adopt the citizenship of any other country, so if you migrate to some other country and if you become the citizen there, it's not about permanent resident or something like that, but if you become a citizen there, then you will have to forgo the Indian citizenship. So you will lose the Indian citizenship. So this is called single citizenship. Next is the cabinet system. Now for that we need to understand what is cabinet. So cabinet is a group of ministers who hold the most important portfolios of the government. For example, the defense minister, prime minister, home minister, finance minister. So all these ministers, they hold the highest portfolios. So these ministers, this group is called the cabinet, and the cabinet is the highest decision making body of the government of India. So it is the cabinet who takes the most important decisions. Okay. Abhi Kumar, other countries have dual citizenship, India only single. Why? It is the constitutional provision. India have only single citizenship. Okay, it's the constitutional provision. Now, prerogative writs. We will come to writs in detail. So, writs are issued by both High Court and the Supreme Court. So, writ is for the purpose of protection of fundamental rights guaranteed under Article 32. That is constitutional remedies. So, Constitution provides various remedies for the protection of your fundamental rights. This is through writs. Example of writ jurisdiction is habeas corpus, so prohibition, then certiorari, quo warranto. So all these are the examples of writs. I'll explain that when we discuss about the Supreme Court and the High Court. Next is parliamentary privileges. So privileges enjoyed by the parliament, and bicameralism. Bicameralism means two houses. So in parliament we have two houses. One is the Rajya Sabha, another one is the Lok Sabha. These are the two houses of our parliament. So this two houses, the system where we have two houses is called as the bicameralism. Okay, I hope you got it. So these are the provisions that we have adopted from the British Constitution. So we have a few more to go, sources. Okay, so we have a few more sources to go. So we have only defined about the Government of India Act and the British Constitution. So some doubts. Prerogative. So prerogative means privilege. Prerogative means the privilege of a person. Okay. Okay, so we will stop here. Tomorrow we will continue because I am taking up each and every provision in detail. That's why it's taking a little time. So we will go into the details, because if however the questions being asked in the exam, you will be able to answer, and towards the end we will discuss all the previous year questions. And apart from exam, my personal suggestion is that this chapter is very important in your day-to-day life also. You will have some knowledge about the constitution, the working of the constitution, and how things are being carried out in India, how laws are made, how the parliament functions and all. So this is some basic knowledge I think every informed citizen should have, every responsible citizen should have. Only if you know the provisions, you will be able to better exercise your rights and better deliver your responsibilities also. So responsibilities and duties. So I think this is a very important chapter in the sense that this will give you a lot of information about your country, your constitution, and the political system in our country. Okay, so from that perspective also I'll try to cover this topic. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care, study well. Okay, we will see tomorrow, and then we will continue this chapter. Bye.